All right, so let's perform a join in Tableau. So until just not too long ago, in terms of Tableau versions, you had to do joins for everything. Like you had to specify a join every single time you wanted to make something. Relationships handle most of it now, but there are some cases where relationships fail. And in particular, if the keys don't match exactly, meaning the key column in one data frame is not quite the same organization in the other data frame, you'll have an issue. So for instance, if we go to book here, we've got book ID, and book ID is 2 letters followed by 3 numbers. If we look at info instead, book ID is 2 letters in one column and 3 numbers in another column, and this is the problem. Like Tableau is not smart enough to know, oh, these two over here need to be concatenated, like merged together, and then match with this one. So we have to specify this. We have to specify this ourselves. So what are we going to do? So we're going to double click here on book. So that brings us into like a kind of an internal representation. Let me do that thing again. We open this thing up here and we're going to drag info in. And so notice we have a join menu here. That's pretty awesome. But what are we going to do here? So notice we have our 4 types. We've got inner, left, right, outer, and we're going to select inner here. And we want book ID here. And then what do we want to do here? Equals. And now this, if there were just a single field, we could do it. Now the problem is we don't have a single field. We have multiple fields that we need to merge together. So we have to go to create join calculation. So this is, again, if the columns don't match exactly, you're going to have to do something more complicated through a calculation, for instance. So what do we do here? We're going to say book ID could be 1 plus book ID 2. So notice these are variables just like any other Tableau variable. And when we say plus with strings, it's string concatenation, meaning smush the 2 strings together into 1 string. So I'm going to hit OK here. And notice what's happened here. It's done the join. So for instance, I had BB and I had 194 in my info data frame. And now that has been matched with BB194 over here in my book data frame. And this is happening for every single pair. So Tableau goes through, it makes a new column in the info data frame, and then does the inner join, and we can do outer or whatever we so choose. But now if we close this out, we can see this symbol here, which is a little confusing because it's also the symbol that Tableau uses for set. But this is not a set, this is a join. And so we have to kind of keep those 2 things straight. But in general, we can join these things however we want. But remember, like, don't join unless you have to, because almost guaranteed the relationships in Tableau are going to be more effective and more efficient than the joins we would make by hand. So only make joins by hand if you have to, but those situations do come up. And again, to go back to a different situation, there was a data set I was working with where in one data set, it's very much like this data set actually, in one data set, the location name was town, comma, state, all in one field, and the other one it was town and state in 2 different fields. And so now I have to deal with that, and that's super common. So these situations do come up. This is not like an academic exercise. We do have to have all these tools in our kit for wrangling data when they don't behave exactly the way we want them to.